Welcome to Huang-Po, Chapter 10, or Part 10. Right. Pointing to the identity of mind and the Buddha, Bodhidharma demonstrated how the highest forms of enlightenment could be transcended. Assuredly, he left no other thought but this: if you wish to enter by the gate of our sect, this must be your only Dharma. If you expect to gain anything from teachers of other doctrines, what is your purpose in coming here? So it is said that if you have the merest intention to indulge in conceptual thinking, behold, your very intention will place you in the clutches of demons. Similarly, a conscious lack of such intention, or even a consciousness that you do not have no such intention, will be sufficient to deliver you into the demon's power. But they will not be demons from the outside. They will be the self-creations of your own mind. The only reality is that Bodhisattva, whose existence is totally unmanifest even in a spiritual sense, the tractless one. The only reality is that Bodhisattva, whose existence is totally unmanifested even in the spiritual sense, the tractless one. If ever you should allow yourselves to believe in the more than purely transitory existence of phenomenon, then you will have fallen into a grave error known as heretical belief in eternal life. But if, on the contrary, you take the intrinsic voidness of phenomenon to imply mere emptiness, then you will have fallen into another error, the heresy of total extinction. Did I tell you about the bamboo in the rain? It's happening right now, so that's our backdrop tonight. The storm brewing. I sure hope the microphone's picking that up, but in case it isn't. Thus, the triple world is only mind. The myriad phenomenon are only consciousness. Is the sort of thing taught to people who previously maintained even falser views and suffered from even graver errors of perception. Similarly, the doctrine that the Dharmakaya is something attained only after reaching full enlightenment was merely intended as a means of converting the Theravada saints from graver errors. Finding these mistaken views prevalent, Gautama Buddha refuted two sorts of misunderstanding: the notions that enlightenment will lead to the perception of a universal substance composed of particles, which some hold to be gross and others subtle. How is it possible that Gautama Buddha, who denied all such views as those I have mentioned, could have originated the present conceptions of enlightenment? But, as these doctrines are still commonly taught, people become involved in the duality of longing for light and eschewing darkness. In their anxiety to seek enlightenment on the one hand, and to escape from the passions and ignorance of corporeal existence on the other, they conceive of an enlightened Buddha and an unenlightened sentient being as separate entities. Continued indulgence in such dualistic concepts as these will lead to your rebirth among the six orders of beings, life after life, aeon upon aeon, forever and ever. And why is it thus? Because of falsifying the doctrine that the original source of the Buddhas is that self-existent nature. Let me assure you again that the Buddha dwells not in light, nor sentient beings in darkness. For the truth allows no such distinctions. Buddha is not mighty, nor sentient beings feeble, for the truth allows no such distinctions. Buddha is not enlightened, nor sentient beings ignorant, for the truth allows no such distinctions. It is all because you take it upon yourselves to talk of explaining Zen. As soon as the mouth is opened, evils spring forth. People either neglect the root and speak of the branches, or neglect the reality of the illusionary world and speak only of enlightenment. Or else, they chatter of cosmic activities leading to transformations, while neglecting the substance from which they spring. Indeed, there is never any profit in discussion. Once more, all phenomena are basically without existence, though you cannot now say that they are non-existent. Karma having arisen does not thereby exist. Karma destroyed does not thereby cease to exist. Even its root does not exist, for that root is no root. And moreover, mind is not mind. For whatever that term connotes is far from the reality it symbolizes. Form, too, is not really form. So if I now state that there are no phenomenon and no original mind, will you begin to understand something of the intuitive Dharma silently conveyed mind with mind? Since phenomenon and no phenomenon are one, there is neither phenomenon nor no phenomenon, and the only possible transmission is mind with mind. When a sudden flash of thought occurs in your mind, and you recognize it for a dream or an illusion, then you can enter the state reached by the Buddhas of the past. Not that the Buddhas of the past really exist, or that the Buddhas of the future have not yet come into existence. Above all, have no longing to become a future Buddha. Your sole concern should be, as thought succeeds thought, to avoid clinging to any of them. Nor may you entertain the least ambition to be a Buddha here and now. Even if a Buddha arises, do not think of him as enlightened, nor deluded, good nor evil. Hasten to rid yourself of any desire to cling to him. Cut him off in the twinkling of an eye. On no account seek to hold him fast, for 1,000 locks could not stay him, nor 100,000 feet rope bind him. This being so, valiantly strive to banish and annihilate him. I will now make luminously clear how to set about being rid of that Buddha. Consider the sunlight. You may say it is near, yet if you follow it from world to world, you will never catch it in your hands. Then you may describe it as far away, and lo, you will see it is just before your eyes. Follow it, and behold, it escapes you. Run from it, and it follows you close. You can neither possess it, nor have done with it. From this example, you can understand how it is with the true nature of all things. Henceforth, there will be no need to grieve or to worry about such things. Beware. Now beware of what's going on. Now beware of going on to say that my recommendation to cut off the Buddha was profane, or that my comparing him to the sunshine was pious, as though I had wavered from one extreme to another. Followers of the other sects would then agree with you. But our Zen sect will not admit either profanity in either the profanity in the first, nor the pious quality of the second. Nor do we regard the first as Buddha-like, nor the second as something to be expected only from ignorance into beings. Thus, all the visible universe is the Buddha, so are all sounds. Hold fast to one principle, and all the others are identical. On seeing one thing, you see all. On perceiving and in any individual's mind, you are perceiving all mind. Obtain a glimpse of one way, and all ways are embraced in your vision. For there is nowhere at all which is devoid of the way. When your glance falls upon a grain of dust, what you see is identical with all the vast world systems, with their great rivers and mighty hills. To gaze upon a drop of water is to behold the nature of all the waters of the universe. Moreover, in thus contemplating the totality of phenomenon, you are contemplating the totality of mind. All these phenomena are intrinsically void, yet this mind, with which they are identical, is no mere nothingness. By this I mean that it does not exist, but in a way that is too marvelous for us to comprehend. It is an existence which has no existence, a non-existence which nevertheless exists. So this true void does, in some marvelous way, exist. Footnote says, this passage emphasizes the perfect identity of nirvana's matchless calm with the restless flux of the phenomenal universe. According to what has been said, we can encompass all the vast world systems, though numberless as the grains of sand, with our mind. Okay? We can encompass all the vast world systems with our one mind. Then, why talk of inside and outside? Honey, having the same invariable characteristic of sweetness, it also follows that all honey is sweet. To speak of this honey as sweet and that honey as bitter would be nonsensical. Well, how could it be so? Hence, we say that the void has no inside and outside. There is only one spontaneously existing absolute, and for this same reason we say it has no center. There is only the spontaneously existing Bhutatthata. Thus, sentient beings are Buddha, and Buddha is one with them. Both consist entirely of the one substance. Period. The phenomenal universe and nirvana, activity and emotionless placidity, all are of the one substance. So also are the worlds, and with that the state that transcends worlds. Yes, the beings passing through the 6 stages of existence, those who have undergone the 4 kinds of birth, and all the vast world systems with their mountains and river, the body nature and illusion, all of them thus. By saying that they are all of one substance, we mean that their names and forms, their existence and non-existence, are void. The great world systems, uncountable as the Ganges, sands are in truth comprised in the one boundless void. Then, where can there be Buddhas who deliver, or sentient beings to be delivered? When the true nature of all things that exists is an identical thusness, how can such distinctions have any reality? If you suppose the phenomenon arise of themselves, you will fall into the heresy of regarding things as having a spontaneous existence of their own. On the other hand, if you accept the doctrine of not-man, the concept of a not-man may land you among the Theravadians. Footnote says, the doctrine of Anatman has always been the center of Buddhist controversy. There is no doubt that Gautama Buddha made it one of the central points of his teachings, but the interpretations of it are various. The Theravadins interpret it not only as no self, but also as no self, thereby denying man both an ego and all participation in something of the nature of the universal spirit or the one mind. The Mahayanas accept the interpretation of egolessness, holding that the real self is neither or is none other than the indestructible non-entity, the one mind. Something far less of an entity than the Atman of the Brahmins. Kumaraswamy, for example, interprets the famous precept, take the self as your only refuge, not by the Theravadin, place no reliance upon the intermediaries, but by take only the self as your refuge, the self meaning the same as the one mind. If the Theravadins were right with their no ego and no self, what is it that reincarnates and finally enters into nirvana? Why do they take such pains to store up merit for future lives? For if the temporary adhering aggregates of personality are not held together either by an ego soul or universal self, or the one mind, this is a long footnote, whatever enters nirvana when those aggregates have fully dispersed can be of no interest to the man who devotes successive lives to attaining the goal. It is also difficult to understand how Buddhism could have swept like a flame across Asia if, at the time of its vast expansion, it had only the cold comfort of the present Theravada interpretation of Anatman to offer those in search of a religion by which to live. Zen adepts, like their fellow Mahayanas, take Atman to imply no entity to be termed an ego, not but one mind, which comprises all things, gives them their only reality. Okay. We almost there? We are almost there. Now let me see how long is left. Oh, you've got to be kidding me, really. How about we go up to the question mark? Oh yeah, there it is. Alright, here we go. To the heresy of regarding such things as having a spontaneous existence of their own. On the other hand, if you accept the doctrine of Anatman, the concept of Anatman may land you among the Theravadins. You people seek to measure all within the void, foot by foot and inch by inch. I repeat to you that all phenomena are devoid of distinctions of form. Intrinsically, they belong to the perfect tranquility which lies beyond the transitory sphere of form-producing activities, so all of them are coexistent with space and one with reality. Since no bodies possess real form, we speak of phenomenon as void, and since mind is formless, we speak of the nature of all things as void. Both are formless, and both are termed void. Moreover, None of the numerous doctrines has any existence outside your original mind. All this talk of Bodhi, Nirvana, the Absolute, the Buddha nature, Mahayana, Theravada, Bodhisattvas, and so on, is like taking autumn leaves for gold. To use the symbol of the closed fist when it is open, all beings, both gods and men, will perceive that there is not a single thing inside. Therefore it is written, there has never been a single thing. Then there's defiling dust, or then where is defiling dust to cling? If there's never been a single thing, past, present, and future are meaningless. So those who seek the way must enter it with the suddenness of a knife thrust. Full understanding of this must come before they can enter. Hence, though Bodhidharma traversed many countries on his way from India to China, he encountered only one man, the Venerable Ko, to whom he could silently transmit the mind seal, the seal of your own real mind. Phenomenon are of the seal of mind, or phenomenon are the seal of mind, just as the latter is the seal of phenomenon. Whatever mind is, so are phenomena. Both are equally real and partake equally of the Dharma nature which hangs in the void. He who receives an intuition of this truth has become a Buddha and attained to the Dharma. Let me repeat that. Enlightenment cannot be boldly grasped, attained, or perceived, etc. Bodily, not boldly, sorry. Could not be bodily grasped, for the body is formless, nor mentally grasped, for the mind is formless, nor grasped, though its essential nature, since that nature is the original source of all things, the real nature of things, permanent reality of Buddha. How can you use the Buddha to grasp the Buddha? Formlessness to grasp formlessness, mind to grasp mind, void to grasp void, the way to grasp the way. In reality, there is nothing to be grasped, perceived, attained, conceived, even not grasping. Can't be grasped. So it is said, there's nothing to be grasped. We simply teach you how to understand your original mind. Moreover, when the moment of understanding comes, do not think in terms of understanding, not understanding, or not understanding, for none of these is something to be grasped. This Dharma of thusness, when grasped, is grasped, but he who grasps it is no more conscious of having done so than someone ignorant of it is conscious of his failure. This Dharma of thusness, until now so few people have come to understand it, that it is written, in this world, how few are they who lose their egos, as those people who seek to grasp it through the application of some particular principle, or by creating a special environment, or through some scripture, or doctrine, or age, or time, or name, or word, or through their six senses. How do they differ from wooden dolls? But if, unexpectedly, one man were to appear, one who formed no concept based on any name or form, I assure you that this man might be sought through world after world, always in vain. His uniqueness would assure him of succeeding to the patriarch's place, and earn for him the name of Shakyamuni's true spiritual son. The conflicting aggregates of his ego self would have vanished, and he would indeed be the one. Therefore it is written, when the king attains to Buddhahood, the princes accordingly leave their home to become monks. Hard is the meaning of this saying. It is to teach you to refrain from seeking Buddhahood, since any search is doomed to failure. Some madman shrieking on the mountaintop, on hearing the echo far below. Many go to seek it in the valley, but lo, how vain is his search. Once in the valley he shrieks again, and straightway climbs to search among the peaks. Why, he may spend 1,000 rebirths, or 10,000 aeons, searching for the source of those sounds, following their echoes. How vainly will he breast the troubled waters of life and death. Far better that you make no sound, for then will there be no echo. And thus it is with the dwellers in nirvana. No listening, no knowing, no sound, no track, no trace. Make yourselves thus, and you will be scarcely less than neighbors of Bodhidharma. That's number 10.